Good morning, everybody. It is Monday, June 10th, 2024. We're going to go ahead and jump back here to Friday. Just recalling, I probably should have put something on the news report here, but that's okay. I'll just type it into the chat room here. All right, I just want to get out. I should have put it on the news report. FOMC is on Wednesday. We do have the meeting starting tomorrow. So it could be an interesting week here, but let's go ahead and jump back to Friday here and take a look at what happened. So we were in the pullback from the news, right? There was a news drop. I believe we had non-farm payroll on Friday. We got a spike up. Gave us a beautiful peak above and fail. I believe this was a brand new all-time high in the market. And then the market started to pull back. And when we came into the open, I told you guys, the expectation was for some type of pullback from that peak above and fail. But at some point, I did expect the bulls to come back in and continue to push. And that happened, I guess, from the overnight low. So they did start to sell off. And then that was it. So how many mornings do we come in and I talk about either an expectation for a pullback and a bounce, or an expectation for a push and then a pullback off a level, and then it happens right around the open or just before the open. They find that low, or the major high or the major low, and then that's it. So we got the beginning of the pullback in the pre-market. We expected there to be a bounce at some point, and I guess the bounce was from the overnight low. They never got past that low, and then the market opened here. So let's take a look and see what happened. Nothing too crazy going on right around the open. Obviously, the bulls were having a little trouble on the pullback from VWAP and holding down below the 200 moving average and right off the back end of our roadmap level there. But it was very short-lived, and then they went ahead and popped, and then we just started getting a really nice push to the upside. Some great opportunities to buy the market. You could even try to have faded the back end of some of our roadmap levels here and actually got some decent follow through, but obviously not enough to get a nice big sexy trade out of. So you can see they came up, had trouble right at 50% of the previous day, trouble right at the previous daily close, and then they got right through the holy orange power level and pulled back to it for a double bottom there to balance out and try to break out to new all-time highs. Now what happened is they came right up, tested the new all-time high, which was, I believe, 53.80 to the tick, and then that was it. So the market attempted to break out even more, which is kind of what I was expecting at some point, right? Was for the bulls to jump in off of one of our roadmap levels ideally, and then try to push to new all-time highs. And what happened was they came up right to the all-time high, kissed it, went through by a tick or two, and got this pullback. Now, the rally wasn't over here, because I think probably the sexiest thing to happen on Friday was the fact that we've had a level on the chart now for 2 or 3 months, ever since the last contract rollover. And we are now, by the way, rolling over into a new contract, the September contract, in the next week or two here. So, but this has been on here since last rollover, or at least within the first couple weeks of that rollover. And what do you know? The high of Friday, nearly to the tick, was that roadmap level. And we've been watching this level for a long time. Let me see if I can pull back here. If we go all the way up to the high time frames and look, we've been watching this level and expecting resistance around there for this whole push. Like, the market has been pushing from way lower and hundreds of points away. And as we came up, we had a expected resistance here at 53.70-ish, 71, and right up here at 53.85. And as the market advanced higher here, as you can see, from hundreds of points lower, they came right up and failed, I don't know, just about a point or two in front of this expected resistance. And then on Friday, they came right up and quite literally kissed it to the tick. And now here we are pulling back from the next expected resistance level above. So just blows me away, guys. There's no way to know in the past or going into the future where exactly price is going to turn, but yet we seem to figure it out more often than not, right? I mean, unbelievable. And this has been kind of a never-ending tale here where we push higher, and we keep tagging nearly to the tick into our expected resistance areas. And this is an uncharted part of a market, right? This market has never traded up here before, yet somehow we had a good clue that that was going to be a failure point. And then earlier on, wherever it is back here where we came up and came right in front of, just a point or two shy of that other extension level. So again, I'm kind of rambling a little bit here, but it just blows me away that we've had this on the chart for probably a month or two or longer, and they came right to it here for a beautiful peak above and fail pattern here, right? So just kind of relishing in the fact that here's another beautiful example of how accurate these levels are. Now, I went on a little rant here, but beautiful pullback off of what was the all-time high, right, out of the open here. Pull back, and then what do you get? Another textbook opportunity to buy the market here with divergence off the VWAP. And what do you know? This is nearly a 50% retracement of the leg. I mean, we're just shy of 50%. Hitting VWAP, bullish divergence in the direction of what looks to be a bullish move. You could have got in with one tick of risk, and you could have gotten a trade from 56 all the way to 85 for almost 30 points, ideally taking profit just in front of there, right? So could have got a nice 25-point healthy trade right to our expected resistance and got out of your trade right at the high of the day. So on the way up, you also had opportunities here to buy all the pullbacks. It's just like every single day, it seems like. Buy the pullback there, buy the pullback there, comes up through the hopeful, comes back, buy the hopeful. I mean, just, and then we just missed the pullback to the previous daily high there to buy that final pop. So found support from VWAP and literally stair-stepped up each roadmap level here, missing this one by about 3 ticks, and then bam, fails right off our expected resistance. And then from there, we get a nice little pullback, very aggressive, holds off the back end of the fast moving average the whole way down. There is the crossover, there is the push below VWAP, there's the tag of the 200, and in this case, just to be fully frontal with you guys, didn't work out, right? If you would have tried that textbook trade where we get the crossover, the fall below VWAP, and the first tag of the 200, in this case, you only got about a point or two into the FMA. And hopefully, if you did try that short, this very scenario should have alerted you that, hey, maybe this is not going to work out, right? So we got a pullback from the 200, beautiful opportunity, but then what happened? The bulls came in right off the FMA, right? So it's cluing you in to a continued push higher or some type of retest of the previous swing high, right? So let's continue to look here. I'm not going to get too detailed. As the day went on, it just kind of went sideways there and just chopped around in a tight range, right? So nothing really to talk about for the last hour or two of the day. And this was, remember, the extended trading hour at the end of the week on a Friday. So ideally, you're not trading in the extended trading hour there at the end of the day. And then that's it. Then we come down in here, and this is our overnight session coming into this week. And as you can see, nothing too sexy going on. We're just kind of holding the 50% of the previous week, and now we're holding the previous daily close, and we're just chopping around inside of here right now. So it's been, if you were to look at it, if you were to invert things, instead of looking at stair-stepping up our levels, now it's kind of stair-stepping down. We came right to our expected resistance level that we've had on the charts for multiple months. Got down through VWAP, got down, now we're holding below 50% of the previous week, and now below the previous daily close. And like you can see, quite literally just each level has been kissed and then we've pushed lower, right? Maybe not the first test of VWAP, but on the second test, and then we have 50% of the previous week. Then we have the previous daily close, and now here we are coming into the open. Now, doesn't mean you're just guaranteed a continued stair step down in a perfect fashion like that, but pretty good action here coming into the open. Let's go ahead and jump up to the higher time frames and see what they have for us coming into the beginning of the week here.